Everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, where last run, a little bit more merciful, more of what we're looking for. This run, BD3494M9. It looks spiced, but in reality, I don't think it's that spiced because we have good stats and Eye of Belial. Also known as the Eye of the Spider. All we need... Oh, I'm not willing to try the pill, I think. All we need is, well, a bomb would help out a great deal. But on top of that, a little bit of HP. Sorry, I got a little spooked there. When I get spooked, my voice becomes... It regresses to the way that I sounded when I was 9 years old. Which is to say, like a 35-year-old man. That's a toughie. That's a tough choice right there. Because we don't have many means to reroll. But that fly is not that good. But it is better. It's probably right around the average. That's the tricky part, right? Because it's like, it's not spectacular. But it's certainly... It's not horrible. But I think... Oh, thank God. Anytime you get a chance to reroll, it's in your best interest to try to maximize on that chance as much as possible. And by maximize, I mean capitalize. Sorry. Two different things. Two different words. Maximize is what the Autobots do in Beast Wars when they transform from robots into animals, vice versa. Capitalize is when Alexander Ovechkin scores a goal on you. Okay. We knew we were getting an Orby. I think we're still just like one bomb away from feeling way better about our situation. An orbital's nice. With no bombs, I am gonna try to reroll this. Sure. Okay. Bumbo's kind of an interesting get for us here. I think we should leave, but perhaps we can get just a little bit... Oh, yo, that's actually like a pretty amazing upgrade for us early. All we need to do now is shoot enough poops to hopefully... I mean, I don't expect Bumbo to evolve on this floor. You know, I'm thinking that's like a 5 or 6 floors away sort of thing. But if we can give him some money... Even if it's only 2 cents, it's a freaking start, you know what I mean? So I will take it, and I'll be thankful for it. But I don't want to take this pill, because if this, there's an easy flow chart in my brain that gets us to a loss. And it's very simple. The flow chart is just, you use the pill is bad trip or health down. The end. Then you get hit by a single enemy, and you could be dead. Okay, Book of Revelations is an extremely nice get for us. Books have been our savior over the past few runs, and this looks like no exception. So, hold on. By the way, it couldn't have been a health down. It could only be health up because of the fact that we're on 0 HP. I don't think we have like the Blue Baby effect that is like health is entirely gated to Spirit Hearts. We should have options for non-Spirit Hearts, so... now with Book of Revelations, everything's pretty much, you know, hunky-dory here. So I'm feeling pretty solid. I got very little to worry about, I think. And honestly, it's kind of a foreign feeling for me. It's a lot of pressure. Because as soon as you got nothing to worry about, you got to worry about commentary. And dude, that's the whole... You know, anybody can play Isaac. Playing Isaac while having a even modestly coherent conversation is probably the hardest thing on planet Earth. Well, next to trying to do it while playing Tetris, but... You go ahead. It's all yours, Bumbo. You can have it all. Want a stinky penny? You can have it all. I don't know who sings that. Is that Bruno Mars? That was just an excuse for me to try out this new bit, which is me mispronouncing an artist's name by putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable. There is a quote, the emphasis on the wrong syllable. That's a Mike Myers quote from the much maligned Gwyneth Paltrow film from 2003 called A View from the Top. However, I refuse to say that quote because it's a Mike Myers quote. I will only quote Mike Myers for movies where he plays a Lothario-esque British spy agent who was frozen for 30 years, called Austin Powers. The thing about Austin Powers, Ruka, is that women want him and men want to be him. I have it on good authority that women want him and men want to be him. That's according to the mother of Vanessa Kensington, his partner, of course, in that famous operation where he stopped Dr. Evil from using his big underground drill. I didn't, baby. You just told me. No, I will not cede the floor. I've been given the same amount of time as everybody else. I'm going to use it to talk about Austin Powers ad nauseum. Let me out. We just want our item room here. Everything's totally fine. We have, as of yet, not gotten... Well, let's be honest. We haven't gotten much of an improvement in just about any department statistically. But non-statistically, we got some really good things going for us here. Thank you. Bumbo is swell. Book of Revelations is base. Okay, Bloody Lust is fine too. Book of Revelations is basically a hello. It's a run-winning item, potentially. Orbital's helpful, and everything's pretty much going according to plan here. Very little that we can actually complain about. And I gotta say, it feels nice. It feels like for the first time in forever, I'm in the groove. Know what I mean? I'll give you one. I had to give you the chance. Feels like, you know, I remember what it felt like on that so-called mythical 119 streak, or however high we got. I remember I never went into an episode feeling like there was any chance I was gonna lose. And obviously that had to change at some point. Or it had to be wrong at some point at least. But, every episode I went into, I really felt like I had it. This one, or I should say, for the past, couple of months in Isaac, that has not felt like the case. You don't need money anymore, Bumbo. You're already, when you hit max level, you stop leveling. I haven't felt comfortable in Isaac like that for quite some time. Now I feel comfortable again. And it's a little teensy baby streak. But we're making some moves, and it feels good. It feels dang good, if you'll allow me to use some bad language. Dude, for real? So, like, you gotta remember, Isaac, the flow of time is distorted in Northernlion's Isaac videos. Like, this happens a lot, but like a couple of days ago, I was like, I don't really understand what the backlash is about Joker, you know? It's, I think it looks like a pretty good movie. It was well received by a film festival crowd. Can't wait to see it. I don't see what everyone's messed up about. Then, like, literally 12 hours after I recorded that video, the director gave an interview that was like, I don't do comedy movies anymore because people are too offended to laugh. And I was like, that's a pretty yikes look, my dude. Maybe you don't do comedy movies anymore because the last comedy movie you made was the third Hangover movie. Maybe that's why it's so hard to make people laugh. They're not offended, they're just bored. But then, on top of that, like the US Department of Defense apparently just issued a warning, like a security warning that, you know, screenings of Joker might be targeted for, like, vigilante violent action or something. Not by the government, but, like, I don't know, by... I don't know who by, just to be honest with you. And I'm not saying I buy into that hysteria. Also, I live in Canada. But, not to say that couldn't happen here, but, you know, it's the U.S. Department of Defense. It may or may not be as relevant or relevant at all, you know, here. But either way, it's like, dude, it's the danger of having even the slightest bit of backlog is the news stories that you thought you were on the right side of, they can change in a freaking heartbeat. One of these days, there's going to be a video like, you know, I don't know if it's happened yet, but like, man, I'm so glad, you know, this person's still alive. And then by the time it comes out, they will have died like 3 days ago. It's going to look like I'm telling a joke at their deceased expense. I'm going to get freaking canceled, dude. I can see it coming. I dare not, I know you're like, we do it now. Tempt fate. And I'm like, no, I will not make a joke about, you know, Betty White right now. I will not. Now I'm like, please God, Betty. I want you to live as long as possible, but for my sake, please at least make it until like Sunday when this video comes out. That's not mean. I don't know her, and I just wished her a long and happy life. I just said that when she inevitably dies, and we all will, myself included, I hope it happens at a time that doesn't make it look like I'm, you know, using her death as a joke. Accidentally, without even having the knowledge of it having happened in the first place. This is too many good things. We have swallowed our previous trinket, I believe, so we will take our free damage statistic. We will now go to our item room as well. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to go see Joker. I still think it looks like a good movie. And I still like Joaquin Phoenix. And I have a wife, so I'm not seeing the movie because I want to become the Joker. I'm innocent in this case. I'm also, if anything, I'm like more of a Bruce Wayne type. So I'm watching the movie to get a little bit of a feel for the opposition. You know what I mean? Also, do you want to know how I got these scars? We're bringing it back. No, the scar, is it the scars? Do you want to know how I got them? Actually, my parents have a home video of me. I'm 3 years old. I'm going to school for the first day. It's a very cute video. The cuteness is compromised by the fact that it's me in the video, so like it's hard for me to be like it's cute because you know, I'm like that's me, but I'm so tiny, and yet my head is the same size that it is now. What's up with that, Mother Nature? But anyway, and I'm going, Dad, I had a scary dream last night. It's about some kind of Joker box. So I've got a history with the Joker property. I was watching the 1969 Batman movie. Well, the movie did come out in '69, I think, but the 1960s Batman TV show. It used to air every day when I got home from school. Now this was in the 1990s, so it's not like I was watching it as it existed in the first place. I'm just saying. I remember there was one episode, I can't remember, I think they were caught in Mr. Freeze's, he built like an escape room for Batman to try to, and Robin of course, to try to get out of. Like one side of the room was like super hot, one side of the room was super cold, and they were separated, and they left the episode on a cliffhanger, and I spent like the whole next day of school being like, man, I hope that Batman and Robin are okay. Dude, the episode, it was filmed 30 years ago, and it's a fictional TV show called Batman and Robin. Of course they're gonna make it through. They're not gonna finish the Batman series in the 1960s by killing Batman. Anyway, but you don't know that. You don't have that same kind of media literacy as a child, you know? It also has just dawned on me that it's, you know, at the time, the Batman show seemed really old. But it's almost like the same distance as now when I watch, like Simpsons, well, older Simpsons episodes at least, on TV. You know, if I was watching it with somebody who was like 22 years old, they might be like, this episode came out before I was born. It's bizarre how long The Simpsons has been on the air. That's the whole point of that bit right there. isn't it? Zach. So we will pick up the bomb. This run, I mean, you don't need me to tell you this one, I'm sure. This run is essentially set in stone. And I feel basically no guilt whatsoever over the way that we've approached these past few runs. Thanks, Bumbo. Well, we have Bloody Lust, so it's not even that bad, but thanks anyway. Ansus, always nice. I feel no guilt over the way that I've approached these runs, because even though, yes, they've been pretty easy, well, some of them at least, we've also had, like, exactly the right amount of runs that were not easy at all to make me pretty much have just the exact right amount, in my opinion, of self-righteous anger. Oh no, he is the Joker. You want to know where I got these tears? My mother was an end boss. No. We could use the speed upgrade. We already have piercing shots, but we could use the speed upgrade. We don't have to be that choosy here. It's kind of nice, you know? We're just browsing, thanks. Forgot what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. Basically, I have exactly the right amount of justification to blow it out of proportion and pretend that I'm constantly, you know, being assailed on all sides by the game, when in reality, actually, at least the past few runs, past couple of runs, have been really, really good. And I got nothing to complain about if I'm being genuine. For now, this should be war. I'm still going to milk that as long as possible. This should be war. We will crush him. We can actually, well, you know what? We should use our orbital now while we got the chance, because we're going to, if you don't use it, you lose it. We're going to lose it either way, unless this is per throw. It's not per throw. I think we will take Demon Baby. Honestly, I think we could probably afford to take Little Delirium as well, just as long as we make sure we take Book of Revelations with us. That's how you know I'm committed to making a good run happen here. I didn't take Tammy's head for the first time in my entire existence. So we just gulped our damage trinket. Dude, everything's going absolutely awesome here. I cannot complain at all. In fact, you should be complaining, because the run's going to be over too fast, and you'll be deprived of a little bit of beautiful content that you would have had if I were struggling a little bit more. You're like, dude, I've been asleep for 10 minutes. I actually will take Shoop to Whoop. It's a very dumb idea to take Shoop to Whoop here, and I'll tell you why. But I did it anyway, because it's fun. What Shoop to Whoop will do is make it both easier to win and easier to lose. If we don't take Shoop to Whoop, we're mathematically unassailable. We cannot be killed in all likelihood as long as we have Book of Revelations. However, we might have some slow rooms. Shoop to Whoop smooths out those slow rooms, turns them into really fast rooms, much of the time at least. But it also opens up the possibility that we could screw it up real bad, never get any Spirit Hearts, you know, beyond what we already have, and possibly die. So it's really a very small-brained option to do what I did here, and that's why I did it. I can't control the size or the smoothness, the density of wrinkles on my brain. All I can do is keep doing what I'm doing and stay sharp by having a mental regimen that consists of playing the same video game over and over and over, and referencing media properties from 20 years ago. I can tell you already, when I get to be like 70s or 80s, God willing, wouldn't it be weird if I predicted my own death in a video now? Betty White would be laughing, I'll tell you that much. I think we probably do want Ipecac. Those are some very good items there. She wouldn't be laughing. Because statistically speaking, no, I'm not going there, okay? Ipecac also, it potentially is exactly the same as Shoop de Whoop. It raises the odds of us losing, but also makes the win more fun. Forgot what I was saying. Oh, when I'm like 70 or 80, God willing, I'm gonna have like a 20-year gap in my cultural lexicon. Or maybe I'll have like a 50-year gap in my cultural lexicon. It's kind of freaking me out, because, you know, people already, like, when they think about the elderly, they're always telling the same stories from their youth. And meanwhile, right now, people are already telling me, like, you know, well, your memory is so good. So I'm going to be telling, hopefully, even more stories. People will just be sick of, yeah, we know! I Heart Huckabees, directed by David O. Russell, starring Naomi Watts, Jason Schwartzman, Jude Law, Mark Wahlberg, Lily Tomlin, Dustin Hoffman, okay? We all get it. If you said it once, you said it 1,000 times. Yeah, we know. Come On Over, the 1995 album from Timmins-born country sweetheart Shania Twain. For a time, the second best-selling album in history. We've heard this one before, Great Grandpa. Tell us what life was like before the Moisture Wars. I always go back to the Moisture Wars. Boy, it'll look really silly if I end up dying in the Moisture Wars to a robot sponsored by the 2004 David O. Russell film I Heart Huckabees. Why would a movie 40 or 50 years old sponsor a robot to begin with? Especially a robot that appears to be murderous. It makes no sense. And that's called world building. Your brain fills in the details. No, thank you. I'm full. I've used mapping. I should not be confused about where to go. Yo, we definitely want Black Rune. Dude, it's been a very blessed day of Isaac. Look, I'd love to sit here and say that any day of Isaac is a blessed day of Isaac. Every day you get to play this game is another gift from Edmund himself. Some days, that would be dishonest. Some days of Isaac have been a little cursed. Some recent days is included. Today has been a pretty blessed day. Give me a day that has mostly positives, but what negatives exist, we have the tools to deal with and also grow from. Give me that over a day that's exclusively like cushy victories. You know what I mean? It's easy for me to say because we're living in a land of cushy victories right now, but I believe that. I never have, you know, maybe I wish for like a stress-free life, I guess, but even more than a stress-free life, I don't think a stress-free life is realistic, you know? I'll start by saying that. I think the human body is wired to seek out things that become stressful. It's all about making the stress productive. Like, I think if you retired at, like, you know, 30, you made your own startup or something, it's like Uber, but for blenders. Micro rentals for blenders. Why buy your own blenders, millennials, when you could just use mine? 10 cents a spin. So let's say you came up with a super awesome idea instead of me coming up with it. I think even if you retired at like 30, you couldn't live a stress-free life. I think you would just get stressed out about stuff that would annoy other people around you, you know? Like the dang cable isn't showing the shows I want. You're like, that's cool. I got fired today, but I guess your problem's real too. You know, your stress, I think, is scales to the size of the world around you. It's not to say you can't minimize it, but I think it's just healthier to, you know, find good ways to deal. It's not realistic, I guess is what I'm trying to say, to wish for a completely stress-free life. I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe there are people out there that are living stress-free lives. I'm just not familiar with it. Better to wish for a life that provides you challenges you can meet, so you can constantly grow. As opposed to just like, you know, that life where it's all handed to you. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't mean to get preachy. It's just this is what happens when your Isaac run has 46.78 damage and a spacebar item that kills like every room you come into contact with. I hate to say it because it's very cliche for me to say this, but there is a death lurking on this run. It would require merely that we take a bunch of damage. So I'm hoping we can stay away from that. That's good. That's good. This is unnecessary, so we'll just hit it with a quick black rune. That's why, like, I don't have the means to retire right now. Woe is me. I'm almost 31. But even if I did, you know, Cade and I have talked about it. I think I've talked about it in Isaac episodes, I'm sure. But I'm like, I don't know, like, I would be really bad at being retired right now. I think I could get there. But I think if I were retired, I would have to work every day really, really hard at not filling my time with things that are just a complete waste, you know? I'd like to say that I'm confident I could do it, but it would be a weird retirement. It would be like, now that I'm retired, I can go back to school full time, you know? Which actually, just hear me out here, sounds pretty cool, to be honest. If that would be a really neat way to be retired, is to just, you know, be in college full time. I know, you know, not everybody's into school, and that's fine, but like, you know, the idea of going to, you know, college just to take what you want to take for general interest without it actually being required or incentivized even in any way for economic reason, that'd be sick, dude. You know, like 18, 19, it's kind of a different story, you know, you're very uncertain of where your life's gonna go. You're older, maybe you got things slightly more under control, or maybe not, you know. But, you know, you don't have to deal with people being like, you know, oh, you're a classics major. How's that gonna pay the bills? And you're like, actually, my references to the 3 plays of Sophocles have actually made me a lot of money on my YouTube channel. Now I just take it for sport. They'll be like, yeah, well, good for you. Wait a minute, are you Northernlion? Big fan. And I'll be like, nah, my name's Markiplier. Idiot. I don't know. I haven't gone that far in my head canon, if I would call them an idiot. Maybe I would like turn around first and go, idiot. Like kind of quietly, so they would be like, did he say idiot? And they'd be like, did you say idiot? And I said, no. I said, see you later. And then I'd open my Heelys and go to town. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya.